Hey, I'm John Foley, tru-bbq. Why am I up this early for the sunrise? Well, about to smoke a brisket today. I'm going to show you how to smoke one as well. Here we got a brisket, got a full packer brisket, about 13.5 pounds. Now brisket's made up of two muscles. So you got the point and then the flat. The brisket comes from about the chest muscle of a cow. It's a very tough piece of meat. That's why you smoke it low and slow to tenderize it and make it nice and juicy and good. So for a brisket, we have two sides. You got the fat cat, or all the fat side, and then you got the other side, which got a little bit of fat, but it's mostly meat. We're going to trim this fat cat, so there's about 1/4 inch of fat throughout the whole top. Any more than that, some places where it's like, see here, it's super thick. I mean, that's not going to render down. Only so much fat renders during cooking. The rest is just gonna get all goopy and won't be all that good. Trim it too much, then your brisket's gonna dry out. So it's very important because you want some fat on there to act as a heat shield and also to baste it throughout the cooking process. So you want some fat, but you don't want a whole lot of fat. Just gonna have to trim it. Let's get started, and using a sharp knife during this process helps out. Be careful they don't slice off a finger. So this piece I just cut off here, if you're asking why I'm cutting off the edge of the brisket, it's been in the freezer for a few months, so this got some freezer burn. See this meat? This is the color you want it. Now look at that. Alright, now for the bottom side, not a whole lot of fat, but anything that you do see type of fat and kind of like this membrane, just want to clean it up as best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, just try to get as much as you can. Now if you can see what we got at the bottom here, if you can see the grain of the meat, it's you see the lines this way? That's a grain. For this is the flat. The grains in the flat run this way, and then the point, this piece, it goes the other way. The flat's more of a leaner piece of meat, and it can dry out on you quickly if you don't, if you're not careful with it. And the point is more fatty, and this is where the burnt ends come from. And that's some good stuff right there. What connects the two muscles is a big fat layer. It's this big fat layer right in here. This big fat layer, and it connects these two. You're gonna want to trim this fat. This fat is really thick and hard, and this won't render down at all. So you really want to get this out of there. So now you can kind of see where the layered two muscles meet. Alright, pretty much done trimming, at least as far as I'm concerned. It's good to go. Now, like I said, you remember the grain, which way it's going on the flat, because when we cut it, when it's done, we're going to cut perpendicular to the grain. And you want to do this so your slices hold together yet pull apart nice and easy. If I cut with the grain, it's not going to pull, it's going to be stringy and chewy. So remember, when you put the rub on it, you won't see the grain anymore. So just kind of take a picture or kind of how your whole brisket looks so you remember which way the grain goes. Some people cut off like the corner, so then this piece is missing and then they know, alright, I need to cut like this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to remember which way it goes. Alright, now this step is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want. If you never tried it and you've been smoking briskets for a while, go ahead and give it a try, see how you like it. If this is your first brisket, then I would probably skip this step. But what I like to do is I like to inject the brisket with beef broth. This really helps it, not dry out. It's like an insurance policy in a brisket. Keeps it nice and juicy and tender and moist and some good stuff. Trick though with injecting the beef broth into the brisket is we're gonna want to inject with the grain, all right, not against it. You go against the grain and it's gonna leave track marks in your meat. And when you go ahead and slice it and serve up your brisket to your guests, they're gonna see these track marks and they're gonna think you got your brisket from a junky cow. So to avoid that, we're gonna go with the grain. So all I got here is about 2 cups of beef broth. My handy meat injector needle here, and I'm just gonna kind of start one end and kind of throughout the whole thing and get as much of this beef broth in here as we can. Alright, for our beef rub, very, very simple. We got freshly ground black pepper, half cup kosher salt. Just salt and pepper, and we'll mix it around. With beef, we want to enhance the flavor. Let the beef be the star of the show. Now it's time to make it rain. Now you don't want to go too heavy with the rub. A little goes a long way. Make sure you get those sides though. Okay, well it's about to put the brisket in the smoker. Once you put your rub on, you can let it sit for a few hours. You can let it sit overnight. Do this the night before, and the next morning when you're good to go, go ahead and throw it on the smoker if you want. Now you're going to want a meat thermometer. You really want to go, especially if this is your first time. I mean, if you smoked 100 briskets, then you probably don't need one of these, but if it's your first time or you've only done a few, I recommend using a meat thermometer. You can use a leave-in one like I'm going to use, or use a good like thermopen or just some sort of meat thermometer. We're looking to cook this to about the range of 195 to 205 degrees internal temperature. That's like the money range of when this thing is going to be nice and tender yet juicy. If it's lower than that, it's going to be real tough. If it's higher than that, it turns into mush and then dries out real quickly. So 195 to 205, only way to know that is with a meat thermometer, otherwise you're guessing. And when you guess, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. So I like to be right, so I'm gonna use a meat thermometer. I'm gonna put this in the flat, because the flat is what cooks fastest. Stick this in there, put it right in the middle, and yeah, there we go. Let's put it on the smoker. And we're gonna do this fat side up. Alright, we're gonna do fat side up. Why? Well, it depends what kind of smoker you're using. I'm using a bullet smoker. The fire comes from the bottom, it comes around the sides, over the dome, and then back down this way. So then that's why I put the fat side up. If I do it the other way, you have the lean side up, the heat's gonna come down and it's gonna dry it out. This acts as your heat shield. If you don't have a water pan or using coals directly underneath it, like a drum smoker, then you want to do fat side down, since that's where you want to point the fat towards your heat source. Using an offset smoker, where the coals and the heat's coming from the side and then going over like that, you want to put the big side, the point side, towards the heat, since this is fatter than the leaner side. All right, let's close this up and see you in about 6 hours. All right, it's been about a little over 6 hours now, and time for the next step. The brisket's at about 160 degrees internal temperature. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it in butcher paper and then throw it back in the smoker. If you don't have butcher paper, you can use foil, or you can just exclude this step altogether if you want. I like to wrap it. It helps keep the color, that nice mahogany, and not get too black on you, because it still has anywhere from 4, 6, 7 more hours to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, stop smoke from entering, because it absorbs as much smoke as it can handle. And yeah, let's take a look and see how it looks. Oh yeah, look at that. That's some good looking beef. You ain't need no teeth to eat my beef. Yeah. Get a good grip on this. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna cook, maintain your pit temperature 230 to 250 degrees, and it's gonna stay like this, wrapped until it's done at about, when it's in that range of 195 to 205 degrees internal temperature. So that may take 4 to 6 hours. So just maintain your temperature and just relax, and yeah, crack yourself open a beer and get ready to eat some brisket. Hey, it's been a long day. Going on 16 hours since this morning. I put this on when it was dark out, and it's dark out right now. But hey, that's brisket. That's barbecue life. No one said this was easy. It's gonna be worth it though. Let me tell you. That's just been going on, like I said, 16 hours. If you wrap it with foil, it's going to take a little bit less. That's kind of speeds up the process a little bit. But I went ahead and used butcher paper. So now let's go ahead. I just took this off the smoker. Let's go ahead and unwrap it and see how it looks. See how we did. I'll tell you, it feels super tender. That's kind of how you want to feel. Like I said, you want to cook it to an internal temperature between 195 and 205. And you can tell by the feel, it's going to be firm but have some give, and that's how you want it. Ooh, mama. Do me like that. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a brisket. Look at this. We got a nice crust on that. Nice and tender, firm though. Super juicy. Now, like I said in the beginning, this is made up of two muscles. We got the flat and we got the point. And you can see where these two connect. Before we had the fat layer. Now that it's all, you got the bark on top, you can't see it visually unless you move it. You take this point, look at it. See how this is still? You got a little jiggle. Got a little jiggle there. Now we're gonna cut this. We're gonna make burnt ends. This is an extra step. If you wanna go ahead and you don't wanna, and this is your first brisket or whatever, and you don't wanna get too intricate, go ahead and wrap this up with foil or butcher paper loosely. This has to rest for about 45 minutes to an hour. It's been smoking for a very long time. It's all worked up, it's a muscle, and it needs a rest. The juices need to redistribute. So do that rest it for about 45 minutes before you start slicing into it. If you start slicing into it right off the pit, it's gonna dry out really quickly. So you don't wanna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke burnt ends. If you wanna try doing burnt ends, go ahead and keep watching it, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So, like I said, we have the flat and the point. We're going to cut this flat, we're gonna cut the point off, and we're gonna take the flat and we're gonna wrap it and put it aside, let it rest for an hour. And during that hour, we're gonna take the point and we're gonna put it back on the smoker. We're going to double smoke it, and we're gonna go ahead and then cube it at the end. So let's go ahead and separate the two muscles. So like I said, we're gonna start kind of where that jiggle is. And once again, that fat vein, it just slides right like butter. Very easy. That looks looking good. I don't know if I can wait an hour to eat this. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's looking good. Now here's a flat, or the point, sorry. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, doggy. Now I'm going to put a little bit more rub on this side, because I'm gonna put this point back on the smoker for some burnt ends. So the side that didn't get any rub. Here we go, let's make it rain now. It's late, I mean, it's like Saturday night, almost midnight. Let's make it rain. Oh yeah, there we go. Put this to the side. Put this in here. That's beautiful. You can see a nice little smoke ring right here. Can't wait till we slice into this. It's gonna be wonderful. My mouth is salivating. It's like a waterfall right now. Okay, guys. 17 hours later, and we're here finally. The flat has rested for about an hour. The point we put on the smoker an hour ago, I just took it off, and now it's sitting here. Now, time to slice, and then most importantly, time to eat. So, if you remember from earlier, our grain was running this way. We want to cut perpendicular to that, so we're going to cut this way. So let's go ahead and start slicing this and see if all our hard work paid off. Now when you're slicing, we're going to do about pencil thick slices. You go to a barbecue restaurant and they give you slices paper thin. It's because they're trying to hide that they did not tenderize their brisket, and that's tough. That's an easy way to mask that. If you get a place that's too thick, well, they overcooked it a little bit and it's like mush. So they're trying to cook it thicker so it stays together. I'm gonna show you the tear test of how a good slice of brisket should look like. So pencil thick. And look at this, it just cuts like butter. This is great. This smell is unbelievable. Let me tell you, you're gonna be like, man, 17 hours, that's too long. I ain't got time for that. You know, but trust me, once you do it once, you're gonna be like, hey, when's the next time I got 17 hours to do that? But we're gonna take one slice here. Oh, look at that. Look at it, see a nice smoke ring on the bottom? This is with the fat side, so you see the fat 1/4 inch. Remember, you trimmed that to about 1/4 inch. A lot of it rendered in, we got a little bit on top. Look at that nice smoke ring around, the whole thing, nice bark. True test. Hold it. Look at that. It stays together, right? It's called a pull test. It should stay together under its own weight. But once the slightest give, it should tear apart easily. Oh, guys, that's money right there, guys. Come on, that's ridiculous. This is what barbecue's about, is brisket. Tastes like home. I mean, seriously. In about 30 minutes after I dominate a good half pound to a pound of this, if I die, I'll be happy. Some good stuff. Damn, that's some good stuff. We're not even done yet. This is a freaking flat. Now here it is. Black gold. Wait, black gold, guys. Boom. Burnt ends. Help me now. Seriously. Come on, you ain't getting this at no barbecue restaurant. Don't lie to me. You never get this. This is some good stuff. Double smoked. Full time. Super tender. And we're gonna go ahead and cut this up into chunks. Best we can. But I like to do like inch cubes. Like butter. Like butter. Come on, guys. This isn't no expensive knife. This is a dull knife when it comes to expensive knives. And look at this thing, it just cutting through it like it ain't no thing. Guys, oh my lord. Guys, look at that. Look at that. That's burnt end. That's a burnt end. No, it's not actually burnt, that's what it's called, burnt end. Man, this is some good, oh, I'm excited. I just went from 6 to midnight, guys. Look at this. Look how tender this is. Look how tender that is. Barely. Oh my god. So yeah, 17 hours, worth it? Yeah, I think so. This is some good stuff. I'm gonna dig into this. I'm gonna cry a little bit. And you know what? I'm gonna sleep a happy, not hungry man. Let me tell you what. You go ahead, you follow these simple steps. Do it yourself. The main thing is being patient. You gotta be patient. Let the meat and your smoker do the work. All you have to do is maintain it. You know? And then you do that and you're gonna come out with a beautiful piece of meat like this. You're gonna feed your friends and family and they're gonna be bowing down, kissing your feet, rubbing your feet for being on them for the last 17 hours, let me tell you. If you like what you see here, subscribe. And there's only going to be plenty more other great barbecue videos from here on out. So, yeah, if you do this, comment and let me know how it went. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email, do a comment, and I'll get back to you. I mean, I'm a hands-on person. I'll get back to you as soon as I can because I'm here to help you out. So, please, just hope you enjoyed it. Have fun. I'm going to eat this, finish my beer, and go to bed. All right, guys. See ya.